Hey everybody, it's Jeff. It's Friday, and welcome back. If you're new, if this is the first time you've ever seen a video from me and from the Gospel Revolution, then welcome. I just wanted to talk to you really briefly today, not one of my long videos where I babble forever. I just want to keep it as short and as sweet as possible because I'm in the middle of my move. Didn't have much time to do this. Software wasn't cooperating earlier. So, so let's say I keep it brief. I'd like to talk about one thing that Bob Hines mentioned on our Powercast yesterday, and that was that some of the chapters in his new book, which is called Redemption, he said some of them are kind of heavy, and they're an indictment of the institutional church. And but he wanted to make it clear that it is not an indictment of people in the church, not even the leaders of the church. It's an indictment of the church doctrine. And I wanted to make that clear too, because we talk a lot about Christianity and what it says as opposed to what the gospel says. Because we preach the gospel of grace and peace through the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of God. But we preach he actually did redeem the world. And so when we point out where Christianity differs with us, and actually some of Bob even said it. He said, if you're preaching anything other than the redemption of the world and the redemptive work of Christ, you are preaching anti-Christ gospel. So it's the message, the doctrine of the church itself. We have nothing against Christians, but we do tell you about Christianity only because we were devoted to Christianity ourselves. We were devoted evangelical Christians. We worked very hard. We preached. We were in ministry, all of us. Well, we're in ministry now, but not the same one. And what we try to explain to you is we were like slaves to it in one way. And you know, Harriet Tubman said she could have freed more slaves if they knew they were slaves. You can be in something and think this is the norm, and anything outside of that, what, you fool? Why would you want me to consider something outside of this what I know? I also look at it as though it was like an addiction for me, like alcohol, but you know, or drugs or whatever, you know. It's we are really trying to reach out to people who are believing the currently accepted message of Christianity in all of its isms, Catholicism, evangelicalism, because the good news is so much better, and it's so much more freeing, and it really does make your life better. It's not therapeutic moralism. It's not anything about morality, which that was the title of yesterday's Powercast. The gospel is not a moral gospel. We don't preach morality and therapeutic moralism. We preach the gospel. Michael Horton, who is a theology professor out in California, I think it's Wesley Seminary, he says that the gospel of American Christianity is nothing but therapeutic moralism, but it is not the gospel of grace and peace. And he still promotes Christianity, but he is the biggest critic of it, and he's, other than us, he's very much like us. Very much like us. Only he's in the mainstream. We're not in the institutional church. So what I'm trying to say, I hope this helps, is when we say things please note we're talking about Christianity and not Christians. Occasionally the word Christian comes out of our mouth, but we are always talking about what Christianity says, what it tells you, what its message is, and how that is not even gospel correct. Most of the time it's not even biblically or scripturally correct. So, but we are trying to reach out to Christians that we once were, because we believe in a greater Jesus and a bigger Jesus and a more powerful Jesus. And we'd like to introduce you to what that Jesus did. So Have a good weekend, everybody. Next time you see me, I will be coming to you from Houston, Texas. And cross your fingers and wish me luck on this move. Thanks. I've had a lot of breakdowns with my truck recently, and, you know.